Do you need multiple credit cards to be successful at travel hacking? Let's talk about it because there are main scenarios or strategies that you might have that are different than mine. And there are questions that you should ask yourself to understand what type of traveler you are. But to give you the honest opinion and or honest answer, no, you do not need multiple credit cards to be successful at travel hacking. First of all, the most important thing with travel hacking is making sure that your card strategy aligns with your type of spend so that you're earning the most amount of points on the spend that you were doing. Second piece is actually burning those miles in the right way or using those miles in the right way so you're not wasting them or losing them. But the main questions that you should be asking yourself just to understand what works best for you and the type of strategy that is going to go with your goals is going to be how often do you actually travel, right? And that is going to go along with how often do you want to travel internationally or do some of these big trips? And as well, how many people are you actually paying for when you are traveling? If you have a family, or if it's just you or you and a spouse, your strategy might be a little bit different. So let's talk a little bit about that and what you should think about. So, in the first place, if you're not trying to dive too deep into travel in points and miles, you can absolutely have one or two cards that you stick with, but just understand that it is going to take you much longer to accrue points because you are not taking advantage of the biggest way to get a lump sum of points, which is through sign up bonuses. Sign up bonuses allow you to get 60, 80, 100, up to 150,000 points just off of hitting required spend that you need for those cards. So that is why people like myself, other people in the travel space, open up specific cards, multiple cards per year, because it gives us leverage into not only multiple partners, but gives us a larger lump sum of points that we can then use for our travels. And that goes with how much you are actually traveling. So if you are traveling just a couple times a year versus 10, 15 times a year, your strategy doesn't need to be adding multiple cards. So if you don't want to pay the annual fees, if you don't want to add multiple cards per year, you just want to stick with those cards and you're not traveling as often, right? You can still absolutely travel hack. And the thing is, you do not need to use your points for full trips. So you can use them for certain segments, for one ways, for just the hotels. So the entire trip does not need to be booked on points. If you can save points and find good deals in specific areas, then you can do that. You don't have to use your points for just the entire trip. With that as well, this is why I say travel hacking and utilizing points the right way can work for everyone because everyone can leverage putting $1 in and getting $2, $3, $5 back out when we use them the right way. So even if you don't travel that much, but maybe you want to go on an international trip once every 3 years or once every 5 years, you can conserve and earn and accrue those points over that time so that you are not spending 5, 10K, 15K plus on an international trip later on. And then you can use your points for those big trips instead of all of your domestic trips because you're not flying domestically that much. You can typically find better deals if you're not flying that often or traveling that often. So keep that in mind. That's how you can utilize points and miles to your advantage, even if you're not using them all the time. Now, of course, if you have a family, you have more people you need to think about in terms of accruing points. So you likely need to accrue more points as well. So that's why families have strategies where they have player one and player two, where they can open up certain cards, they can refer certain cards to each other, and they open up, 1, 2, 3 cards a year to then accrue mass sums through the sign-up bonuses and then take trips with their family because they have more people to think about. As always, everyone has a different type of strategy depending on where you live, how often you travel, what your travel situation looks like. So it's important to kind of build that foundation and that understanding. And hopefully this channel and this video provides you with that information so you can make an educated decision on whether you can be the person that applies to lots of different cards, accruing lots of different sign-up bonuses and different partners and different types of points that you can use, or if you should be on the more conservative approach of just utilizing 1, 2, 3 cards in your stack and putting them in the right areas of spend. So don't be afraid to let me know in the comments, like the video, let me know what your strategy is. how you approach the points and miles game. If you're just new to this and you want to get more of a dedicated idea of what's going to work well for your situation, what you want with points, miles, credit cards, finances, I'm happy to help out with that. I'll also be in the free school community. So if you want to network, collaborate, and even learn more from any of my free trainings and my free information, you can do so below with the link in my bio down there. So I will talk to you guys soon, and I really appreciate you guys hopping on the video, looking at the content, engaging with the content, and I will see you on the next video. Talk soon, friends.